Good morning.
Morning, Bill. I assume you have sun and no snow over there?
Well, there's some leftover, a little bit of leftover snow, but no, we didn't get anything last night. So,
Oh, good. We got a dusting at one point, but that's all.
yeah, yeah, we got that. That started to make me fret, but it didn't really. My uh, stepson up in the Boston area got 4 inches last night.
Oh, on top of whatever they had already.
On top of everything, yes, yeah.
Uh, oh, well, we actually haven't been shoveled out yet. We were plowed, but
Yeah,
our shovel guy is overwhelmed
yeah, I can imagine. I
because
was
he,
lucky, yeah, and my guy came over and helped out yesterday afternoon. Then he got tired and didn't do such a good job, but
yeah.
um,
Our guide said he does shoveling for 23 families.
wow.
So he warned me that he probably will not be here until maybe later today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
But um, we got a delivery from the pharmacy. The
Oh,
guy
good.
waded through the snow, uh, and otherwise, I don't think we have any deliveries coming. So.
Yeah. Well, good.
Um, it, ah, and here's Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Morning.
Good morning, Jeff.
I'm
Morning.
here. I'm sorry, just making a couple adjustments.
Okay, how are you?
Good. How are you guys? How's the snow up there?
It is.
Abundant?
it's well over a foot.
Yeah.
Oh,
I figured 16, 17 inches for me.
Yeah, I
wow.
think I think that's about where we are. I haven't been able to get out to, so I haven't measured it. But
Have you kept your electricity, both of you guys?
Yeah.
yeah, no
Oh, that's
problem with
great.
electricity or internet.
Wow, that's the key is the electricity. I was always so susceptible to that when I was living up there in East Haddam. Where I
Yeah.
was living, it was not reliable in these kind of weathers.
Well, the one thing is that we do now have a generator, a gas-driven.
Yeah, I did too, and I really hated using it. It was just so hard to use, and I had to dig through the snow to get to it.
Oh,
And
mine's automatic.
oh, really? Oh, that's good.
The electricity goes out and the electricity comes on.
Oh, that's ideal then. I was out
Yeah.
there pulling it like a lawnmower in sub-zero weather.
Oh, yeah. I used to have to do a gasoline one out in the shed.
That's
Remember?
what I had. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Uh, Wonderful days.
yeah. Well, I'm glad everything's okay with you guys. I was a little concerned, but
Yeah.
that's good to hear.
Yeah. We're here. I'm still struggling with computer issues, but
Yeah.
other than that,
So you still haven't solved the problem with saving things to YouTube then?
no, I'm gonna try to get my computer guy. He can probably do it remotely, but see if I can get him to help me.
Right. Right.
My problem is that um, while at a little distance, my vision isn't too bad, but up close, it's not good, and so
Right.
anything like that is difficult for me to do. Not impossible, but difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and and one of my computer issues is that again the camera on my computer is out. So
Hmm.
fortunately, I have the other one,
Yeah.
so I don't disappear into the blackness.
Right.
So, questions, reports. How's your opening and closing doing?
Um, I don't know that mine. When I did practice this week, I was a little more focused on rounding and on revisiting my longevity breathing, which I realized I hadn't been working on for a while. So my
Oh,
closing, I have to say, I didn't really do much with this week. So it's about the same. It's still definitely in need of a lot of work, but trying anyways.
good. Yeah. Well, those other things are important, so that's good.
Yeah. And I realized last week that I really hadn't done anything with longevity breathing for a while.
Yeah.
So I needed to get that rolling again.
Yeah, because eventually you want to move to reverse breathing, but
Mm.
not until longevity is really comfortable.
Yeah, and especially since a couple of classes ago, you started uh, getting us to try and do the two different types of motion or movement with our rib cage, and I found that I could not differentiate that at all. So,
Mm. Well,
so that's where I was this past week anyway.
that's good.
Something.
Yeah, absolutely. Bill?
Um, well, I haven't done anything for a few days, uh,
Uh,
but
why not, Bill?
otherwise occupied
Mm.
uh, and dead tired afterwards. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But when I did practice earlier, it was I try to be conscious of the opening and closing. I don't think there has been any advancement uh, recently, and I've been uh, the rib thing. Sorry, Jeff, but I do feel it.
Oh, I'm
So,
glad. I'm so happy for you.
uh, uh,
That's
but
great.
it's an entirely new experience
Hmm.
compared to you know for me a different experience compared to the other aspects of longevity breathing. So that's
Good.
getting
Yeah.
acquainted
Yeah.
phase.
Um,
So not much, and I did review what we went over on the forum, and I think I still had it in my head and body.
hmm
So,
Good. One of the things I was going to say is if you are able to really do twisting instead of simply turning, the interesting thing is that um, it's very much the same kind of thing that's happening in opening and closing
yeah,
because opening and closing is not done physically, it's energetically, and so that's of course exactly what we're doing when we actually begin to twist.
yeah.
So another way to think about it, I don't know whether that's helpful or not, but if you feel like you are able to twist, then you can transfer some of that awareness anyway to opening and closing.
Yeah, the twisting for me is, also in the getting acquainted phase. It, I sense it a bit, and not consistently, but
Hmm.
interestingly, each aspect of movement, especially and breathing that we've learned, I've concentrated on that aspect. And then we move to something else, and I concentrate on that. And now we're at and that's been the norm
Yeah.
for me. But now we're in a phase where when and this only happens occasionally, where I sense all of it happening at the same time.
Mm.
Very occasionally, where there's twisting, opening, breathing,
Yeah.
the whole body reacting. It doesn't happen enough for me to say anything much more about it, but yeah, there have been glimpses of it. So,
Well, that's really good, Bill, and that is what happens. You have those brief glimpses of, oh, it's all working together.
Mm, right.
And then that grows and grows as you really practice. So
And it's encouraging in those brief moments when everything is in
yeah,
sync and
yeah.
yeah.
So
you get those glimpses of wow, this really is pretty powerful when you can hit it just right. But
yeah,
it just
Yeah.
it's always for a very brief time, and
yeah,
the mind kind of sets back in and starts thinking again,
yeah.
and
Yeah, that is one of the issues.
yeah.
So you'd recommend practicing, David?
I beg your pardon?
You you'd recommend practicing.
Yes, I would.
That's a really good idea. I wish you'd said that earlier.
I've probably said it too many times.
Well,
Apparently not.
Well, if you guys didn't have to do anything else, you'd have plenty of time to practice.
Yeah,
yeah, and I know in my future that will come too. That's
Yeah.
there's no doubt about that, and I'm actually that's one thing I'm looking forward to a little down the road. Is when I used to live there, and I would, especially at times when I was single and I lived around the corner, I focused a lot on Tai Chi. I was, in the studio 3, 4 times a week and practice on my own, and it was. I'd like to do that again someday.
Sure. And as Jesse gets older, and you don't have to
Mm,
devote quite so much attention to him,
right, and
that'll
especially
help.
someday if I can retire from working too, that would certainly be helpful. But both of those things are.
Is that possible?
It better be somehow, some way, somehow.
Maybe you'll start teaching Tai Chi.
You never know.
Okay, so I'd like you to do the 8 gates, and before you begin, um, tell me what you're going to be focusing on today.
I
Well, I
think,
mean, since you brought it up, I will try and focus on opening in this flow of
Uh,
the 8 gates.
Okay,
and I think I will try to focus on transitions.
oh, okay, good.
Um, I think, I mean, generally, I'm I don't think about them. Maybe that's the problem. I don't think about them enough, so I'm going to think about them this morning. I
Yeah.
don't know that they're that bad, but we'll find out. Yeah. So.
Okay. Good. All right. So, how do you feel you did with your focus?
I feel like stuck with it at least the whole way through. Whether
Good.
or not I had great success in it, and actually toward the last two postures, I think I also tried consciously working twisting in with the opening as well.
Hmm.
So it was good practice and good awareness of it. I don't know how much success I had. I felt at times I felt pretty good about it, but other times not. I'm trying to make sure I extend it all the way through, and I was aware, trying to be aware all the way to my scapula on out.
Hmm. Little difficult for me to tell on Zoom.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I have to admit, um, it was there were many movements that seemed to me very intentionally focused and present. So
Mhm.
um, that's certainly a good thing. I don't think I can tell you whether I felt you were really opening and closing or not.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's because it's such small differences, and I felt okay about it. I think I accomplished what I was trying to do, which was stay present in that focus on opening and closing throughout the whole thing, and not drift off to other awarenesses,
Yeah,
or try to do other things with it, other than at the end when I did try to add in the twisting consciously as well.
and and I think it's good to be aware of that with all of these elements that you want to allow them to happen, not try and make them happen.
Mhm.
And that's really hard for us.
Well, as far as the conscious part for me, obviously it's allowing it to happen by not allowing the muscles to initiate or anything.
Yeah, and
That's
that's a long transition.
right.
It doesn't happen all at once, or at least not for most people.
No, and during the flow, I have to remind myself of that, every posture,
Yeah.
to just let it go.
Yep. Bill.
Yeah, two things. One, I was relatively happy with the transitions. Um, be interested to see what you have to say about them. Um, and the second one, um, I didn't expect to happen, but when I started, I realized my body felt like it was still shoveling snow. Um, there was a good deal of tightness, just
Hmm.
general body tightness, but especially up in the arms and shoulders. And that lasted halfway through, I think, my consciousness of that and clucking to myself about it. And then I realized that, what this is supposed to be about is not the muscles.
Ah.
And when I allowed myself to get back to opening and closing and things like that, um, the muscles didn't make as much difference anymore. So
Yeah.
I was happy with that. So
So I felt it looked to me. I probably should have had you stand sideways. That might have been
uh,
a little better for observation. But that first movement at the opening, as you went up to Qian Heaven, felt to me like there was no, um, there was no in. There was just out,
oh, okay,
and at least that's what it looked like.
okay.
Um, several your movements of the pulsing are really very good. They're smooth, they're connected, they're round. I see the elbows working, so I'm assuming that that's carrying through into the back. Um, what I still feel is that there were, I didn't watch every transition because I was trying to watch Jeff too. Um, but for instance, going from 1 to 2, and I think I was watching 2 to 3, and then I forget there was one later that I noticed, but all of them I felt like you didn't really round the corner.
Hmm.
It
Okay.
was um, the pause was less, it was smaller, but um, instead of in going from 1 to 2, um, when you get out here, um, I don't know if you remember, but I demonstrated another time that there is the one place where um, your focus changes as to which edge of the arms is twisting in and out.
Yeah.
And what happens when you get to this point, you come in, you go out, it goes up and over and in. So your out continues. After you've gone out in that pulsing, the out continues just enough to get you to where you can transition to in.
Okay.
Um, and in going um, from from 2 to 3, I felt as if again the pulsing was really good, but then there was just that moment's hesitation of just boom, boom.
Okay.
So you really have to find, how do I round those corners? That it's Master Joe's terminology, but it's every major teacher and master I've worked with talked about it in maybe in different terms, but absolutely the same intention.
Okay.
Um, and it may help to make them large to begin with, and then make them small as you practice, because it's very easy, um, at least my memory is that my own issue often was that it was very easy to get that roundness going in the pulsing, but then when I wanted to go to the next one, instead of finding how do I round that corner, I still had boom and then in and out. So just making sure, and one of the things to think about is that you're trying to find a way of finding the sense that the out is actually merging with the in. It's not changing from one to the other.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know you know that. I'm.
I always relate that to the times when I got on a really good swing and
Yeah.
gone up to the back, and it's just a point where there's weightlessness, you know,
Yep.
and you're neither going back nor front, so.
Yeah. Good.
David, related to the rounding, last week you had mentioned that at times in the form, uh, when we don't actually do a visual rounding, that we can do twisting instead. Can you say again how that kind of accomplishes the same goal if we do twisting in certain places when we don't necessarily do it a round movement?
Um, if you're really doing twisting, then it it's exactly the same. I mean, that's what you're really trying to accomplish even in the pulsing. I mean, you can do the movement with the muscles. You can make all that same movement, but then if you can find out how to let go of the muscles and let the energy drive it, there is a very subtle difference in how it looks
Mm,
and a big difference in how it feels.
right.
And that in doing if you were doing that same movement without pulsing,
Hmm.
without physically pulsing,
Right.
the twisting is what's happening there. So I can twist in and twist out, and now I'm rounding those corners
Hmm.
perfectly well, energetically.
Right.
There's not a physical movement apparent, but
Uh,
energetically, the which is the more important of the two,
right.
contain.
Are both things rounding and twisting? Are they both essentially facilitating the circular silk reeling
Sure.
properties of the
Yeah.
energy? Is that the bottom line? What we're trying to really preserve and
Yeah, because you're always working with a, a number of spheres. So clearly, in doing a pulsing movement like this, you've got the spheres that are related to the hands and thereby ideally to the organ that you're focusing on. But at the same time, you are working with primarily with the sphere that's completely surrounding you, that's centered into your dantian. So energy is not just here in the arms or even here and in the back. It is out here and back and behind you and back. It's everywhere. So that's, eventually that's where you're trying to go, is to not to not only be aware of what's happening with the immediate movement in front of your eyes, but
right.
in the large spheres that you are working with. And if you remember, you bring up the dynamic sphere Chansi um, in that you're working with that large sphere, but you're also working with the sphere that the one arm is drawing that you can see, but at the same time you have a small sphere that's going on in the opposite arm.
Mm,
And we start with talking about that as twisting or opening and closing, but eventually you want that awareness to expand to not just round or curved, but to spherical.
Mm.
David, I do have a specific question about that last thing you were talking about with the Chances-Jin,
Mm-hmm.
and the off arm or the off hand.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make a difference which way it's turning, or is it more an energetic feeling of opening and closing? Uh,
Both.
both. Okay.
So it's turning in the opposite way from the more obvious arm.
Okay.
So, for instance, it is like the double arm movement when you have gone to that part of the eight gates,
Okay.
where it's clear that you're doing that. But that's what you have developed previously here.
Mm. Okay.
The double arm movement is the simple one in a way, but you ideally are working with those. When you do the double arm movement, you're working with two spheres as far as what the arms are relating to, but you're also relating to the spheres that surround the body. And eventually, you're talking about when you talk about all of the eight gates. Every energetic body is another sphere, expanding further out into the universe. So, did that
Yes.
answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Good. So we were beginning to look at or working on opening and closing in the form, and I think we went up through the first two kicks. Did we go beyond that? Am I wrong about that?
Well,
Uh,
yeah, we did not turn around and do the other kick yet, I don't believe.
no, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'd like is for you to do to flow up to that point, really concentrating as well as you can on opening and closing, and I want you to do it one at a time so that I can really try to
Okay.
look at you, see you.
I should probably go first because I need to leave at 11 again to take Kate to work.
Aha.
So I'll volunteer to go first.
Okay. Okay.
Go for it.
Jeff will go first. Okay. So that was pretty good, Jeff. The the first thing. Let me just get back here. Um, let's see. I'm staying close here so you can maybe see this a little more clearly. Um, when you go into a loop and on, I feel like you lose the intention of the in and out. So when you've if I turn it like this, let's see. Okay. So we go here. We go in. Come on, David. Into Pung G. As you shift, you're going out. Step and come in, continue in, and then out in on. So, do you catch the distinction there?
Um, yeah, I don't think I do that outward part. I tend to graze over that, I think.
Yeah, you talk about it in Liu.
Before loop,
You,
to begin loop.
right, Liu. Yeah. So you get to Pung.
Right.
That's okay. But here, remember we talked about the martial application here. This is spread the arms.
Right.
So you can draw them in and then bounce them away.
Right. Yeah. That, and I don't put that intent into it. You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I do remember us talking about it now.
yeah. So um, as I began to work on that, I had to just really slow every time I did follow and focus those two postures. I had to just make myself be really slow in practicing that in order to get the distinction, because it's hard to feel when you're going through.
Right. Can you do that once more from where you are now? Because I have a good angle and I can kind of see the subtle movement in and out from where you are.
Sure. So I'm gonna we're going into Pung Ji Liu on. Yeah.
Yeah. After that, I'm not doing that spread part after G. You're right. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Um, I had something else and I've completely lost it. Sorry. It was much later. Um,
Was it in wave hands?
Not particularly. I didn't feel like wave hands was as good as you have sometimes done it.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
Going into high pat, maybe.
it may have been, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still working on that rounding out first part.
Yeah, that is a little hard coming into Hi, Pat. And and getting the roundness um, in going into um, subdued tiger,
Mhm.
and then in and out into the kick, but recognizing that it's out in. I'm exaggerating that, but it comes right back in.
Right.
The out is
Well, I probably slowed it down because I'm trying to work roundness into that, which we talked about last time, and I'm still very awkward about that.
yeah, yeah,
So I'm probably doing it very deliberately and slowly to that's the part where you'd mentioned getting twisting in this part of it. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around that.
yeah, and and recognizing that after you've done the kick and you come back in, that there is a whole roundness to that movement,
Hmm.
and there that last part is the expansion into the posture, the out.
What is when you do that whole roundness into that? What is? Uh, can you do it again and explain what? If you like put a Marshall application to it, it helps me to focus on what we're trying to do with that movement and where we're trying to get to. I mean, is it? It feels almost like a pull down or rollback.
Um, yeah, what I would say is that you, what you're doing obviously is is pulling their energy in and then sending it back out.
Okay.
Um, it, it's you, it 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 may be that you pull them in and then you strike back
Right.
is one way to think about it. Um, so pulling them out of their off their feet or losing their center and then
Right.
striking back.
Would that be cow, even though there's no shoulder involved? Bump energy.
Um, I, I would be more inclined to say G, but
Okay. All right.
it could be cow. But cow is usually not the fists, but some other part of the body.
Yeah, that's why if because it feels like a quick bump energy, but it's not using the shoulder or something. It's using the heel. So
No,
that's why I wasn't
yeah,
clear on it.
it could be a strike. You know,
Okay.
it doesn't have to be um, because you're aiming towards two very vulnerable locations. If you think about um, your abdomen and the
Sternum.
middle dantian area.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll have to work on that particular roundness because that to me I was trying to round it, but I didn't know specifically where or how I was doing it. I was just
Yeah.
wanting to round this into it, and I went, well, what exactly do am I trying to do here with it? I was very sketchy about that on both of them, both sides.
I can understand.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I may just quietly leave while you're doing Bill,
Okay.
because I need to get
Okay.
Kate to work for 11:30. We only have one car,
Right.
so.
So, well, have a good week.
So if and when I leave, I'll see you guys next week. Have a great
Yep.
week.
We'll do our best. Try not to over shovel.
Yes, for sure.
So, I think the first thing I think of, Bill, is that to make everything smaller.
Okay.
This is the Wu style, not the Yang.
Okay.
Um, there are a lot of places where the arms are um, moving more than they need to.
Okay.
Um, I think the first thing I wanted to mention again was embrace again, um, and I understand that's it's again it's a movement that's not always the same as what we've done in the past, but when we think about we do pull down, and then the rotation is on the left heel, and then a shift back. I didn't see any backward movement there,
Yeah.
was my feeling. And then when you've done that, you're going forward, turning left. No, you're not, David. Do it right, David. You're turning left and drawing onto that left foot, and then turning right and rotating left to place the right foot for the next postures, and then rotating left as you shift into shoulder.
Okay.
So don't. It felt like you rotated left, step, and rotate left further. I don't know if that's actually what you were doing, but that's what it.
That seems likely. Could you just briefly go through that again? What I'm supposed to be doing?
Sure. No, that's fine. So I'll go back to the single whip.
Yeah.
So we shift, we rotate and touch, and we've come in. We step back and rotate and shift back, pull down, release, turning, shift back. You're twisting and extending out into embrace. And then at this point, you're 60% on the left foot. And now you're rotating back onto it to 100%. And then turn right to step and rotate and shift forward, turning left into shoulder.
Okay. Yeah, I seem to have spliced things together incorrectly, so
Well,
uh, losing parts of it at times. So.
yeah. One of the places where talking about too much movement um, in going into single whip, we have that outward movement. We have the in to step, and it's right into this. Your tendency as you go here is to let the arms relax and then flip up.
Okay. All right.
I, So it feels like you lose the energetic connection in there.
Okay, that's yeah,
Um,
that makes sense.
and in wave hands, um, one of the difficult things there is um, you kept getting stuck in the middle without the hands moving, the arms moving. So the with one of the things that's kind of hard to see about that is that the arms are continuously rotating. They never stop. Out, in, out, in. They never get here and freeze at all.
Okay.
We did, when we first were learning this posture, we did um, sort of do that as a means of learning the general movement. But now that we're into really bringing the energy into it, it never changes. It's continuously. It's at figure eight.
Yeah. I probably ought to try what you just did. Do it extremely quickly to get the overall feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you can really get that sense of the roundness because the body's doing it. You just want to bring the arms along with it.
Okay.
That's probably enough to think about.
Yes. Thank you.
Did you have questions?
No, it wasn't my best, obviously.
No, it wasn't your best. I will say I would agree to that.
Yeah. And I do understand about the arms now that I recollect as much as I can. I can. I'm not sure why that is happening, but
Hmm.
I'll think about that. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, um,
Well, it's a pretty complex timing to get that rotation and keep the arms moving too.
yeah. I
And you
think
get,
in some way that um, now that I'm getting the idea about continuation and roundness and things of that sort, the
mm,
arms have taken on, excuse me, a bigger role than they should. So, excuse
easy.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll rein them in.
Good. Yeah, it's I mean it's quite right that we start with larger movement and get smaller, but we've been working on this for a while, and
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
begin to um, let it condense in. Yeah,
Okay.
good.
Well,
Well,
I will then see you tomorrow morning.
yes. Um, endeavor not to do too much shoveling.
Yeah, I have a bunch of trimming to do around the edges and things of that sort, and uh, a couple little minor things, but there's not going to be anything even remotely like what went on the last 2 days. So,
Yeah, I I um, I have to say I'm just as happy not doing it.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite things to do in life. It always has been,
I enjoyed it too.
yeah,
Absolutely, I understand.
but a foot and a half of it at, you know, our age, it's,
Right, right. We are no longer spring chickens, Bill.
yep.
Well, have a good 24 hours, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, hopefully you get shoveled out.
I hope so too.
Yeah,
Although we have no urgent need to go anywhere.
yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
till tomorrow.
Yep. Oh, thanks for your asking about Jane.
Oh, of course,
She's really doing very well.
well, that's excellent, yeah.
I mean, it's not it's not comfortable, it's not pain free, but uh,
Yeah,
she is really do she's discovering how much she can do with one arm.
well, good, good. There may be a silver lining.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
do pass along my best wishes. So,
I will. Thank you.
yeah,
Okay. Take care. Have a
yeah,
good night.
yeah, you too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.